Despite thousands of Muslims protesting outside Newham Town Hall during a planning meeting, the Council's Strategic Development Committee voted against plans to build a mega mosque in West Ham in East London. The decision came after recommendations from Newham Council officers that the application should be rejected, saying the proposed 12,000 capacity mosque didn't fit with their planning policies to regenerate the area. Speaking from the site of the proposed development, former Newham councillor Alan Craig, campaign director of Mega Mosque No Thanks, welcomed the decision.
I'm both glad and grateful that the council have voted against. They had to really in some ways because the plans are so outrageous and so against the council's own plans for this area that in many ways they had to reject it. My concern now is what they will do, what Tablighi Jamaat and their trustees will do. I think it's highly likely they'll appeal up over the heads of Newham Council, perhaps the Planning Inspectorate, perhaps the Mayor of London. Who knows what they'll do next, and we'll watch that very closely.
So why did Mr Craig launch this campaign in the first place?
We started the campaign probably 6 years ago now, when Tablighi Jamaat, the proposers of the mosque, announced that they wanted to construct a mosque of some 40 to 70,000 capacity. Our objection to the proposal was first of all about the size. Although they have slimmed down the size to just under 10,000 capacity now from the 40 to 70,000 they were talking about, it's still far, far bigger than is required in this area. Their own architect says it's going to be the size of Battersea Power Station. But secondly, there's the nature of the group. Tablighi Jamaat is a very fundamentalist group and it's a very separatist group. It teaches its followers that they should separate out from non-Muslims. They should be isolated from non-Muslims if they want to be good Muslims themselves. Well, that runs absolutely against any sort of integration or community cohesion that we would want round here.
So how does Alan believe people should take practical steps against the threat of radical Islamism across the country?
I think the first thing I say regularly wherever I go is Christians' duty is to follow what Jesus said. We should love our neighbour, and our neighbour, it doesn't matter who our neighbour is, they can be a Muslim, they can be an atheist, be a Hindu or another Christian. We should love our neighbour, and that's really important. So we have nothing against individual Muslims at all. But there is a growing trend of this radical Islam, as we're seeing around the world, this sort of aggressive, assertive Islam. And certainly we see it here in the East End of London, a rising tide of it. And it needs confronting, it needs challenging wherever it is. And it's our job, not only as Christians, but as citizens, to challenge it. It is intolerant, it is supremacist, as I was saying about Tablighi Jamaat. It wants Islam to dominate the world and to dominate our community. It needs fronting, challenging and dismembering, and that's our job.
So despite a victory for Alan Craig's campaign in Newham, the challenge remains to ensure all communities throughout the UK are protected against any form of radical Islamism.